Hi, everyone, and welcome. How to thrive in Gemini season. Thank you for joining me today. I am your astrologer, Core from Core Astrology. This video will share the sun's ingress into the sign of Gemini, which occurs on May the 21st at 3:23 a.m. South African Standard Time. As an air sign, Geminis are the thinkers. They are the air that blows us to new ideas and places and relates us to our environment through curiosity. Geminis are alert, intellectual, and friendly, and they love exchanging ideas and communicating. They are open-minded and curious. They love talking, being witty, pragmatic, chattering, thinking, using their mind, being detached and idealistic, and enjoying a lightness of being. As a mutable sign, they are like the wind, changeable, inconsistent, erratic, versatile, adaptable, and unreliable. They are most comfortable with abstract ideas, concepts, symbols, research, debate, and philosophy. Geminis are objective, with the most incredible perspective, operating on a mental plane, grasping concepts, being witty, rational, logical, and discovering the new connections in different perspectives. They may not be comfortable with emotions, especially intense ones. They have vivid imaginations, are ideas people, and may be restless or anxious, but they are not implementers. This is for the earth signs. They are thinkers, not doers. Geminis recharge through social and mental activities, deep breathing and conceptual ideas. Geminis are talkative, inquiring, opinionated, clever, expressive, changeable, and scattered. The main keywords for Gemini are, I think. They are playful, willing to learn, mentally expressive, sociable, friendly, breezy, changeable, and vacillating. They can come across as superficial or flighty, flirtatious, and talkative. They have keen perceptions and senses. They love the freedom of movement and can be restless, scattered, experience nervous energy, be inconsistent, and indecisive. They are forever probing people and places in search of information. Gemini is a masculine sign. They like to initiate actions. The planet Mercury rules the sign Gemini. It is an androgynous archetype known as the winged messenger or the magician, and is also known as the god Hermes. Mercury is an inner planet affecting us personally. The symbol looks like a helmet with a caduceus. It refers to the soul first, descending to matter. I think, and therefore I am. Mercury rules the day Wednesday. In our natal chart, we look to Mercury to learn how we communicate. Mercury represents all matters related to talking or writing. This could be texting or writing a novel. Listening, negotiating, traveling, short journeys, commuting, trade and commerce, any form of messages and technology that uses communication. Any details or small things, or teaching or matters related to youthfulness. When Mercury is dignified in Virgo and Gemini, it is rational, thoughtful, and loves to exchange ideas. Speech, it is mindful, witty, insightful, and has communicative expression. Mercury is in its fall and detriment in Pisces and in detriment in Sagittarius, and this distorts these facets into a lower octave expression. In Mercury's lower octave expression, irrational, narrow-minded, misleading, uncommunicative behavior is observed. The lower octave expresses through chattering, superficiality, inconsistency, lying, being fickle, capricious, and narrow-minded, or behaving like a trickster. If your natal Mercury is in a fire sign, as Jasmine Boland's expression in her book, A Guide to Understanding Your Birth Chart says, you like to shoot from the lip. If your natal Mercury is in an earth sign, you are very good at getting your message across in a slower, more grounded way. If your Mercury is in an air sign, it communicates and thinks fast. It inclines to more intellectualism. And if your natal Mercury is in a water sign, you pick up unspoken signals and access body language. If your Sun is in Gemini, communication is your #1 activity. If it's your moon in Gemini, you prefer intellectual stimulation, interacting with people, wanting to exchange ideas and get out into the world, and you don't want to live alone in a bubble. You're eager to please. You like to influence and spread ideas and opinions if your ascendant is in Gemini. You may be doing a million things at once, arriving late, being very talkative, trying to be all things for all people, doing things for everyone else, or doing too many things. You come across as inconsistent, versatile, and clever. Now let us look to the sky to see what the month of Gemini season has in store for us. But first, look to your chart to see where the transiting planets I will be discussing are activating your natal chart. If you're new to astrology and you do not have a chart yet, please go to www.astrodienst.com and draw up your free chart there. If you would like to study astrology with me so that you can read charts, please join me in the Astrology for Beginners interactive online course. At the beginning of Gemini season, Pluto is retrograde at 28 degrees of Capricorn. This slows down the cathartic, transformative endings, the releasing and purging and detoxifying that has oppressed us or no longer serves our highest truth. The retrograde Pluto presents us with this opportunity to rest and reflect on what we have already let go of, namely that which was oppressive. We can now review how empowered we feel and create other to-do lists that may recognize during this retrograde period, which is from started 28th of April already, and it runs all the way through to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes. Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini on the 21st of May. This is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon these areas in your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. Use this opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It is an excellent time to get organized. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, retrograde Gemini will be at 0 degrees in Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. This strengthens the influence of the Mercury on the day. While it is retrograde on that day, Mercury is specifically suitable for gifting us with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past. It's about reorganizing and returning and revisiting and repeating or resolving issues. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. This is a great time to sort out any practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. Mars in Aries gifts us with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. On May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, namely Taurus. And here she attributes our lives to the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability. On the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9:03 degrees of Gemini, the new moon blesses us with the time to set intentions. The new moon relates to new beginnings and also to the pause and the rest we require to reconnect with our imagination, intuition, and visions for the next lunation cycle. We use this new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle, to recharge and connect with our dreams of how we will initiate the actions and decisions for the next moon cycle, which brings new developments, new growth potential, and fresh energies. I always think to myself, I need to stop so that the angels can catch up with me around the new moon time. Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries will sextile the new moon, infusing the bold ambitions of Aries energies into the mix of the reflective inward bound powers of the new moon. On the 3rd of June at 10 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury moves stationary to go direct at 26 degrees of Taurus. And on the 3rd of June at 23:47 in the evening, Saturn turns stationary to go retrograde at 25 degrees of Aquarius. On the 13th of June at 5:26 p.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury enters Gemini again, the sign of rulership, where Mercury blesses us with rational, witty, insightful, and communicative energies until during Cancer season on the 5th of July at 8:23 a.m., when Mercury goes into the sign of Cancer. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 13:51 South African Standard Time. At 23 degrees of Gemini is where the sun is at, and 23 degrees of Sagittarius is where the moon is at. This full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December, 2021. This full moon squares Neptune at 25 degrees and enjoys a sextile and a trine with Saturn at 25 degrees of Aquarius. Now, full moons indicate a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon, which are 180 degrees opposing each other in the sky on the day of the full moon. The sun, our ego self, our personality, the center of our individuality, our sense of vitality and purpose, our masculine yang father and who we are as a radiant conscious light being and how we shine our light out into the world, and the moon, which relates to our emotional needs and our inner yin life, the feminine mother, our styles of caring, our irrational instinctual responses, our ability to receive and respond, intimacy, comforts, and the family find balance within the chart. The full moon is the high point, culminating and at the peak of the lunar cycle. Things come to a head now with truths revealed, illuminated, and culminated. We know it instinctively. We harvest the benefits of the new beginnings and are ready to pick the ripe fruit we sowed at the new moon on the 4th of December, 2021. But in the big picture, maturity energy prevails at the cycle's peak. As a result, there's a heightened sense of clarity. Disappointment may exist if the results of the new intentions did not work out as planned. Forgiveness is important, prepared to collaborate and move forward. And what is it that becomes illuminated on the full moon? Everything seems energized and increased. And you can ask yourself, what do you want to have grow? Is it peace and harmony? Then meditate. Don't confront a different or difficult situation during the full moon. The concept is that the moon and the sun are opposing each other. There are different desires. The sun, which is who we are, is at odds with our moon, which is what we need. And the unconscious habits of the moon and the conscious habits of the sun are at war. And until we learn to balance these in our lives, we tend to bring relationships into our lives at the full moon that mirror the things we desire or need. It is impossible to make a decision because we feel that we're torn between two experiences, call it the bipolar moon phase. And therefore, it is very important that we balance these energies consciously on the day. Relationships are essential, and we need to be fully conscious of the effects of our words and actions and what they have on others on the day. Trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. In looking for the right relationship, one needs to proceed through the clarity of the light of consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. This is now specifically for the full moon. And I like to relate to some keywords around the full moon, that being there's a sense of results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring. Relationships become important on the day. Culmination, things come to a head. There could be a sense of projection, a sense of completion. There could be confidence around these matters, and there can be peace and stillness. On the 21st of June, the sun enters the sign of Cancer. Now I will discuss in general how best to use these cosmic energies for all 12 signs during the Gemini season. Timestamps for these are in the descriptions below. When listening to the forecasts, look to your ascendant sign for the most prominent influence of your interaction with your immediate environment. Look to your sun sign for an outward yang expression of your radiating light and confidence into the world. And look to your moon sign for your receptive yin, reflective, internalized, subjective, emotive, reactive expression of self and all matters relating to home, family matters, mothering, and nurturing. I'd like to say thank you to the late Dutch painter Jafra Boschart, whose the Zodiac series artwork I displayed during the 12 sign forecast. He painted these in 1974 and 75 based on his studies of psychology, religion, the Bible, astrology, antiquity, magic, witchcraft, mythology, and occultism. And he described his work as surrealism. I intend to empower, enlighten, encourage and educate and inspire my audience on how to flourish during the Gemini season. If you are new here and you enjoy the video content, please hit the subscribe button and the ring for the bell so as not to miss out on any future videos. Hi there, Aries. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. So Mercury went into the sign of Gemini. It's place of rulership where it is rational, witty, insightful, and very communicative on April the 29th. And it stays there until May the 21st, the beginning of Gemini season. And on May the 9th, Mercury in Gemini went retrograde and stays there until the 23rd of May in the sign of Gemini. And this is an excellent time for reviewing information and catching up on all intellectual matters, especially relating to contracts, paperwork, filing, all matters related to any teaching that you may be the receptor of, or maybe you the teacher of. Anything and everything to do with thinking and verbalizing, and also matters related to your siblings and your neighbors. This is an excellent time for you, dear Aries, to sort this all out. While Mercury is retrograde, it's an excellent time to review the information and catch up on all these intellectual matters. Now, Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini as the Gemini season starts on the 21st of May. And this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon these areas in your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. And this is an opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized with all of your filing and paperwork, and all matters also related to day-to-day commuting and short distance travel. Now, on the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. in the afternoon until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, this retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees of Gemini and is Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. This strengthens the influence of the Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suited for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past. It's about reorganizing or returning to or revisiting or repeating or resolving issues regarding all your office paperwork and matters related to your siblings and your neighbors in your day-to-day commute or any short travel. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start them. The universe instead would have us complete any unfinished projects first. Now, on the 14th of June, Mercury will be traveling direct until the 5th of July in Gemini, where it has rulership. So once you have completed the unfinished matters, from the 14th of June until the 5th of July onwards is an excellent time to move forward and start new matters. So on May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury goes retrograde into the sign of Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time for you to sort out all practical matters, especially regarding your money and finances, your possessions, and your value systems. Relook at your self-esteem and your self-worth and reorganize and have a look at if you've fallen out of alignment to what your truth is. Have you updated your latest value systems and self-worth, and with that, your finances and your investments? This is an excellent time to be reviewing and redoing this during the May 23rd until June of 2nd dates. Now, also occurring, of course, on the 2nd of June, Mercury is going direct, right, until the 13th of June. And this is a time for you to start anything new. All the reviewing will have been completed between the 23rd of May and the 2nd of June. And from the 2nd of June onwards, as Mercury stations to go direct until the 13th of June, you can then go ahead with any new plans that you have in regards to the reviewing that you did about your finances and your self-worth and your self-esteem and your possessions. This is now a time to engage that which you've been reviewing, any changes that you want to make. Also on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., we have Venus moving into her sign of rulership, which is Taurus, and she stays there until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes your life with energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability. So you may find that between May the 28th and June the 22nd, that perhaps you're acquiring something that you love, anything that is sensual or that you're attracted to or that you find very pleasurable. Beware not to overspend during this time. However, you may come across some really good deals, which then would be advisable to purchase, because Venus, when in rulership, bodes with good energy that allows for pleasurability. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m., South African Standard Time, Mars moves into her sign, or into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. So Mars, when it's in the sign of Aries, gifts you with the energies of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And for you, dear Aries, this relates to your physical body and your health and your persona and your well-being. This is a time to get really sporty and active and possibly win a race, because with Mars in your sign of Aries, ruling your physical body and your health, this is a fantastic time to do anything that allows you as a persona and your physical health and well-being to be empowered and to feel dynamic and to be ambitious and to be assertive. Jupiter also went into the sign of Aries on the 10th of May and stays there going direct until July 27th, when Jupiter turns retrograde, all the way through to the 28th of October 2021, and then later again from 21 December through to May 16th 2023, Jupiter is also in the sign of Aries, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion and wisdom. So there's a sense of nobility and wisdom about your personality and your persona, and also all matters related to your physical health can be accessed. And with the Mars moving into the sign of Aries on the 25th of May, this is a great propulsion and starting point to move into being a wiser and more healthy version of yourself and expanding your personality through wisdom and courage and action. Dear Aries, on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini, we have the new moon, which blesses us with a time to set intentions. The new moon relates to the new beginnings and also to the pause and the rest that you require to connect with your imagination, intuition, and visions for the next lunation cycle. Use this new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle, recharge and connect with your visions and how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next moon cycle, which will bring new developments and new growth potential and fresh energies. And this is occurring for you in matters related to your siblings, to your neighbors, to any teaching that you may be giving or receiving, to all paperwork and communications and contracts. Mars is at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries, and they are in a positive aspect to the new moon, infusing this new moon with bold ambition of the Aries energies. And this is thrown into the mix of the reflective inward bound powers. And here's this sense that through empowering yourself and being more dynamic and ambitious and assertive, you can sort out matters related to your paperwork, all matters of thinking, writing, filing, all the matters related to what you're teaching or the teaching that you receive, also matters related to contracts or your siblings or your neighbors. So this is a fantastic time at the new moon to reflect upon how you will be moving forward, into which direction that will aid you to keep your physical health and to be more empowered. On the 3rd of June, we have Saturn moving retrograde in its sign of dignity, that being Aquarius. When Saturn goes retrograde in its sign, in his sign of dignity, it's a fantastic time to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and reauthorize matters around how you connect to groups of people, society at large, matters related to your hopes and dreams, and also the friends that you have in your life, as well as matters related to the income and the rewards that you receive from others. Saturn retrogrades here until October the 22nd. So from the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, this is a perfect time for you to restructure and review matters related to your hopes and dreams, the friends that you relate to, society at large that you relate to, or any groups of friends that you have, or any groups in society. Now, Pluto has also been going retrograde. And at the beginning of Gemini season, Pluto continues at 28 degrees of Capricorn to be retrograde. This is occurring in an area of your life that relates to your actions out into the world, your career, your sense of personal success, matters related to your vocation and your reputation. And with Pluto going retrograde in this area, it slows down the cathartic, transformative endings and releasing and purging and detoxifying that has oppressed you in the past and that no longer serves your highest truth. This retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you have already let go of in these matters related to your career, your actions out in the world, your status, your reputation, your profession. Namely, all the things that were oppressive. And you can now review how empowered you feel and create other to-do lists that you may recognize during the retrograde period, 28th of April. It started through to October the 7th of 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 13:51 degrees South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini, Sun and 23 degrees of the moon in Sagittarius. This full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December 2021. Full moons indicate a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon are 180 degrees opposing each other in the sky. The sun, which is our ego self, our personality, the center of our individuality, our sense of vitality and purpose, our masculine yang, father nature, and who we are as a radiant conscious light being, are shining our light out into the world, this aspect of ourselves, which relates in the Aries for this full moon to all matters related to how you communicate, all matters related to teaching, communications, paperwork, contracts, commercial paperwork, work matters related to short distance travel and commuting, as well as your neighbors and your siblings. All of this is in opposition to the moon, which relates to your emotional needs and your inner yin life, your feminine mother, your styles of caring, your irrational instinctual responses, and your ability to receive and respond to intimacy and comforts and the family, and to find balance within the chart on this day. So Aries, what is occurring for you is that you're thinking, and the sense that you are talkative or curious or behaving very clever and expressive and communicating matters relate to any thoughts that you have and all paperwork and all filing are in opposition to the sense of seeking and perceiving the bigger picture. There's a sense that you want to experience some fun and you want to be a little bit more careless and optimistic and very generous in matters related to your belief systems and possibly to foreign travel, to matters related to overseas or advertising or to the law. And during this full moon, there's the pull between the moon that wants to travel and wants to seek in Sagittarius and wants to expand and have fun, and the sun, which is in the sign of Gemini, and it's busy sorting out all these details about the paperwork. So here it's important to balance both. And we find that on the full moon, there is a sense of it's a make or break time. There's a sense of reaching a high point and a culmination at the peak of this lunar cycle. And things come to a head now with the truth being revealed and illuminated and culminated, and you know this instinctively. It's also a time to harvest the benefits of any new beginnings that you made during the 4th of December Sagittarius new moon. And in terms of the bigger picture, there's a sense of maturity and the energy around that reveals and prevails at this peak, that there is a sense of clarity that you are getting. You may feel disappointment if the results of your new intentions did not work out as planned. And it's important for you to forgive yourself. That is very important, and to prepare and to collaborate with others so that you can move forward. Now, what has become illuminated? And for you, it is matters related to advertising, to media, to publishing, to belief systems, to wisdom, to legal matters, to the bigger picture. And it seems that everything around this is energized and increased. And you may ask yourself, what do you want to have grow in your life? Do you want peace and harmony around these matters? Then you may want to meditate around them. And it isn't advised to confront any difficult or different situation during the full moon, because everyone is slightly more sensitive around the full moon. But you may be having the struggle around details and the bigger picture. So the concept that the moon and the sun are opposing each other relates to your desires, right? The desires wants the detail and wants to sort out all the paperwork and the contracts and wants to do the teaching and the learning and deal with matters related to siblings and neighbors. And the unconscious side, which is the moon, rather wants you to deal with the bigger picture, foreign travel and legal matters and publishing and belief systems. And it's bringing these two together in a relationship on the day that is very important to you. It would seem that the unconscious habits of the moon wanting all the detail and the conscious matters of the sun wanting the bigger picture are a little bit at war at this full moon. And until you learn to balance these in your life, you may tend to bring in relationships into your life that mirror either one of them. So either the things that you desire or the things that you may need. Relating to the moon, the desire is more the sun's activity. So sometimes it seems impossible to make a decision and that you seem very torn on the full moon. There's a sense of feeling a bit bipolar, wanting to please both sides. So relationships are very important at the full moon, and it's essential to be fully conscious that the effect of your words and your actions have on others during this time. It's important to trust and know that the events around this full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. In looking to the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of consciousness and not get caught up in your emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords for this full moon, dear Aries, are related to results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projections, completions, confidence, peace, and stillness. Thank you for joining me today, dear Aries. I wish you a beautiful Gemini season. Bye for now. Hey, dear Taurians, thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. Mercury went into the sign of Gemini on April the 29th, all the way through to May the 21st. And here Gemini has rulership and is rather witty, insightful, and communicative, and also rational. And this has been happening for you in an area of your life related to your self-esteem, your value systems, your finances. And on May the 9th, Mercury went retrograde and stays retrograde until the 23rd. This being an excellent time to review any information and catching up on any intellectual matters related to your finances, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your possessions. Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini as the Gemini season starts. And this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life regarding your finances and your value system, your self-esteem, your confidence. The retrograde period is the universe's way of saying that you're not quite ready yet. Use this opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized around these matters. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, the retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees and is Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. This strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies of reviewing, reflecting upon, redoing, rethinking, renewing, reworking, renovating, revising, revamping, repairing, researching, or even reconnecting with friends or financial advisors from the past, or bankers, reorganizing, returning, revisiting, repeating, and resolving issues regarding your finances and your possessions and your self-esteem and self-worth. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. Now, from the 14th of June to the 5th of July, Mercury will be going direct, and Mercury will be in its dignity. And this is a perfect time to start up new things once you've completed the old matters during the retrograde period. On May the 23rd, at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into the sign of Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is, again, a great time to sort out all practical matters, especially regarding your money, your possessions, and your value systems that relate to your physical persona and that relate to your health and to your body and to how you look. You may want to get a new hairstyle. There may be surgery that you require. There is a sense of expressing your value systems and how you value yourself and matters related to your self-esteem and how this interacts with your financial matters. On the 2nd of June, of course, until the 13th of June, Mercury is direct in the sign of Taurus. So this is an excellent time to sort out all matters related to your finances that directly implicate your personality and your physical body and your health. And then on May the 28th at 1600 hours 46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership all the way through until the 22nd of June. She moves into your sign of Taurus. And here she attributes your life with the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability. So enjoy this beautiful time with Venus in your sign, enhancing matters for you from May 28th until the 22nd of June. And this could also very much help you in terms of the decisions that you make regarding your possessions and your finances and all matters related to your value systems. Then on May the 25th, at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And for you, dear Taurians, this is occurring in an area of your life that relates to endings of cycles, loss related to an ending of a cycle. There's a sense that you've outgrown something and it's time to let go. The area that Mars goes into the sign of Aries in your charts, dear Taurian, Sun, Moon, or Rising, very much relates also to secrets and to self-undoing. This is an area of your life where you like to give up and self-renounce the material world to rather connect with spirit or intuition or imagination. And this area of your life relates to wanting to feel and be isolated, to retreat from the world so that you can connect to your visions and your imagination. And this may also relate to secretive matters. It's very much of a private time that you'll be experiencing. And it's through this privacy and through this being alone and feeling isolated and removing yourself and working from behind the scenes that you will feel empowered and dynamic and ambitious and assertive. Now, the new moon occurs on May the 30th at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of the sign of Gemini. And the new moon always blesses us with the time to set intentions, and the new moon relates to new beginnings, and it relates also to a pause and a rest that you require to connect with your imagination and your intuition and your visions for the next lunation cycle. The new moon phase is a time to reflect upon your last lunation cycle And this is a time for you to recharge and connect with your visions. Your visions very much relate to your finances, your possessions, your value systems, and how you manage your monies, how you relate to your self-esteem and your self-value. And this is really a time for you to recharge and connect with these visions of how you will initiate these actions and decisions for the next lunation cycle, which will bring with it new developments because it is a new moon cycle. And there'll be new growth potential and fresh energies coming your way. Mars is at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries. And they are dancing in harmony with this new moon, infusing the bold ambition of Aries energies into this mix of the reflective, inward bound powers, allowing you to expand from behind the scenes, because both Jupiter and Mars are in this area in your life that relates to wanting to retreat from the world and be a little isolated and connect with your imagination and intuitions, and also to say goodbye to the losses of a cycle that has ended. Now, on the 3rd of June, Saturn goes retrograde in an area of your life that relates to your career, your vocation, your actions out into the world, your status, your reputation, and what you feel makes you the most personally successful Taurian. This is a fantastic time to restructure, to restabilize, to rediscipline yourself, and to become authoritative around matters related to the career. And for you, what has been happening with the Pluto retrograde, which is still retrograde at the beginning of Gemini season, at 28 degrees of Capricorn, this has been slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and releasing and purging and detoxifying that oppressed you in the past and that no longer serves your highest truth in matters related to spirituality, to becoming wise and being a counselor or working with wise people or gurus or professors or universities, or matters related to writing a PhD or getting your master's, or even wanting to travel overseas, or related to matters with foreigners and matters related to law, publishing, all these overseas related, expansive in terms of tertiary education and belief systems. With Pluto being retrograde here, there's been the sense of wanting to connect with your highest truth. And the Pluto going retrograde here presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you have already let go of, namely that which was oppressive. And you can now review how empowered you feel and create other to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period, which is from 28th of April through to October the 7th in 2022, which may require you to further regenerate the purging and the upgrades and the progress processes regarding these matters. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours and 51 minutes South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini, the sun, and 23 degrees of Sagittarius, the moon. And this full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon, which was on the 4th of December, 2021. Now, full moons indicate a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon are 180 degrees opposing each other in the sky. And the sun, which in this instance is in Gemini, relates to being talkative and being curious and wanting to be clever and dealing with matters related to expressing yourself around details and communicating matters related to your finances and your possessions, your self-worth, your self-esteem. And the moon, which is in opposition in an area of your chart in the sign of Sagittarius, which relates to seeking and the bigger picture. It's about being perceptive and wanting to have fun and experience and explore and be careless and to be optimistic and generous. They're a little bit at odds with each other because the moon is in an area related to how you receive resources from others, spiritual, emotional, physical, financial. And the sun is in an area of your chart where you want to organize your finances and your self-worth in details. And often what happens when the sun and the moon are in opposition, where the sun, which is your ego self and your personality and the center of your individuality and the sense of vitality and purpose, your sense of masculine yang father version of yourself, and how you radiate conscious light out into the world by shining your light into the world through your value systems and your self-esteem. And the moon, which relates more to your emotional needs, your inner life, your yin life, your feminine, the mother within you, your styles of caring, your traditions and your irrational instinctual responses, your ability to receive and respond to intimacy and to comforts and to the idea of family. They need to find balance within your life on this particular day. And the full moon is a high point. It's a culmination at the peak of the lunar cycle. Things come to a head now with truths being revealed, and it illuminates, and there's a sense of culmination, and you know instinctively what is going on. This is a time for you to harvest the benefits of the new beginnings that make you feel like you're ready to pick the ripe fruit of what you sowed in the new moon on the 4th of December 2021. But in the bigger picture, maturity prevails as the cycle peaks, and there is a result. As a result of this, there is a heightened sense of clarity. You may feel disappointment if the results of your new intentions do not work out as you had planned. And forgiveness then is important, and it would be important for you to prepare and to collaborate and to move forward. What is becoming illuminated? Everything seems energized, increased, and you ask yourself, what do I want to have grow in my life? This is where the moon is. It wants to receive from others. And it would like peace and harmony. And it is important to meditate around this. It is not a good time to confront anybody who thinks differently to you or any difficult situation during the full moon. The concept is that the moon and the sun are opposing each other during the full moon, which opposes your inner desires. You have the sun, which is who you are and how you want to manage your finances and possessions and your self-worth. And this is very much at odds with your moon, which is what you need. And here you'd like to see the bigger picture, and you'd like to travel and explore and be optimistic and generous and perceive and expand your world. So it is important and often very impossible to make a decision on the full moon because you feel a little bipolar. You're feeling both parts of this energy. And relationships are very essential during this time. And you need to realize and be fully conscious that the effects of your words and your actions have a huge effect on others, especially during the full moon. Dear Taurians, I wish you a beautiful Gemini season. Take care. Be blessed. Bye for now. Hey Gemini, thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. A happy birthday to all of you. I wish you a fantastic birthday and all the very best for the year ahead. So Mercury went into the sign of Gemini during the Taurus season, still from April 29th through to May the 21st. And Mercury in Gemini has rulership. It is witty, rational, insightful, and communicative. And you may have felt this around matters related to your physical body, your persona, and your image out into the world, how you were getting things sorted out. On May the 9th through to the 23rd of May, Mercury was retrograde. And of course, this is always an excellent time to review information and catch up on intellectual matters of the past. And Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini when we start this 21st of May Gemini season. And this is really a brilliant time to review and reflect upon those areas in your life related to your physical health, your persona, all matters that relate to how you look and how you communicate, but specifically that aid your physical body and your health. This is a perfect period where the universe is saying that you are not yet ready to do things. Use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past first. It's an excellent time to get organized as you reflect upon these areas in your life. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. through to 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, this retrograde Gemini, Mercury, is at 0 degrees and is Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And when Mercury is in the heart of the sun, it strengthens the influence of Mercury on that day. Mercury retrograde is about specifically being a suitable gifted time for us to look at the energies, to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues related to your appearance out into the world, your physical body. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. On May the 22nd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into the sign of Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems. And this is a time for you to step away from all the limelight and rather work from behind the scenes. There's a sense that you may want to feel a little bit isolated and reflective and connect to your imagination and the spirit world, and possibly also look at a cycle that has ended, something related to a sense of loss around who it is that you are in terms of your personality and your physical health. What sense of bad habits have you got that are self-undoing that you may want to let go? It's time to say goodbye and let go of them. And this is really a time to also look at your own shadow sides or any matters related to your secrets that you may be keeping from yourself or others. And then on the 2nd of June, Mercury goes direct until the 13th of June in this area of your life. So this is a perfect time then to release any old habits that may cause chronic illnesses, to work with your shadow side and become conscious of it, to maintain any secrets that protect you. This is also a time where you can be working from behind the scenes to assist yourself in having better health and having a stronger personality through the connections that you make to your visions and to your dreams. So there may be some time for you to feel a little bit isolated and step back, maybe go on holiday, step away from the world to connect to your inner strength and recharge your batteries. Now on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus also moves into the sign of her rulership up until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes to our lives the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability. And you will be feeling this, dear Geminis, in those matters that I mentioned, the matters that you are willing to let go of that are holding you back in your personalities, the matters that are related to how you can be a support from behind the scenes and how being isolated or connecting with your imagination and intuition can give you insights into how you can project your personality and your health out into the world. Again, a beautiful time for you to step away and to experience beautiful, attractive, pleasurable activities, sensual activities in your private space. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into its sign of dignity, into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power and dynamism and ambition and assertion. And for you, dear Geminis, this very much relates to society at large, how you interact with society. What groups of people in society do you interact with? Who are your friends and your allies? Who gives you love? Whom do you receive love from? And this can also relate to the income that you earn from the work that you do. And this is certainly a time for expansion, because Jupiter also moved into Aries on the 10th of May and goes direct through to July the 27th, when Jupiter then goes retrograde till the 28th of October and moves into Pisces. And then from the 21st of December through to May 16th, 2023, Jupiter is moving direct in this area of your life. And this is a perfect time for you to expand your circle of friends, expand your networking, increase the friends that you have. And these are mostly go-getter, assertive, dynamic friends, because this is the sign of Aries. This is about having courage and being active. So this is very much a time for you to live your dreams and your hopes. And then we have on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time, at 9 degrees of Gemini, we have a new moon. And the new moon always blesses us with a time to set intentions. The new moon relates to new beginnings, right? And also to this pause and rest that we require to connect with our imagination, to connect with our intuition and our visions for our next lunation cycle. And this new moon specifically relates to our physical bodies, our health, our stamina, our persona out into the world. And you can use this new moon phase to reflect upon your last lunation cycle, to recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and the decisions for the next moon cycle. Perhaps there is a new physical activity that you want to do, maybe a new look that you want to create. There's a sense that your persona has ripened and is ready to come out in this new moon cycle. There's this new development and this new growth potential and this fresh energy and awareness about who you are as a physical being, a healthy physical being. Now, Mars is at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter is at 3 degrees of Aries at the time. And this dances harmoniously with the new moon, infusing you with support from matters related to what you believe are your hopes and dreams, or networking, friends or allies, groups of people that support you in becoming this new upgraded version of yourself. So this new moon allows you to infuse the bold ambition of these Aries energies into your reflective, inward bound powers that you experience during the new moon. On the 3rd of June, Saturn moves stationary direct to go retrograde. Saturn is in dignity when it's in the sign of Aquarius, and the energies that are offered to you are related to restructuring, restabilizing, redisciplining yourself, and becoming an re-authoritarian person regarding matters that relate to belief systems, to higher tertiary education. This could be you teaching a course or being part as a receptive student of a course. This relates to matters of philosophy and travel and foreigners, and also the law and matters related to publishing or advertising. This is a time for you from the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, during which Saturn is retrograde, to reflect upon and restructure these matters. And it has been and continues with Pluto being retrograde in an area related to your chart that relates to irrevocable change in regards to how you receive resources from others. These are shared resources, spiritual, financial, emotional, or physical. So this can relate to taxes. This can relate to inheritance. This can relate to any form of support that you're receiving from others. And what has been happening here is that there's been a cathartic, transformative ending around releasing and purging and detoxifying what was oppressive around these matters and that no longer serve your highest truth. And this retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you have already let go of. This can even include trauma counseling, working with grief and anxiety and fears. So you can look at what you've already let go of in relation to that was oppressive for you. And you can now review how empowered you feel, and you can create further to-do lists that may recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April through to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging and upgrades and progress processes for you to fully embrace the sense of evolution and personal growth and empowerment. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours and 51 South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini for the sun and 23 degrees of the moon in Sagittarius. This full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon, which was on the 4th of December, 2021. Now, the full moon squares Neptune at 25 degrees and enjoys a sextile to the retrograde Saturn. And this is allowing you, through the restructuring of your belief systems and matters related to how you're teaching and matters related to foreigners. And it gives you the strength to identify who your persona is, how you shine out into the world, how you want to be seen from an ego point of view, and how this relates to relationships that you have with others. The relationships that you're seeking are those that are Sagittarius-like. You want to experience fun and go on an adventure and seek and be around people that like to perceive and travel, and people that are careless and optimistic and generous. And yet your persona may be quite detailed, wanting to be quite talkative and curious in nature regarding your own personality and matters related to your physical health. And it is this 180-degree opposition between, during a full moon, which is a sense of climax that is reached, where the matters come to a head regarding these energies between your sun, which is your physical body and your health, and the moon, which relates to your partner, the other person that wants you to seek and perceive and expand. So the sun being your ego self and your personality and the center of your individuality and your sense of vitality and purpose and your masculine and yang father nature, who is radiating out into the world, this conscious light of being and shining your light to the world. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs and your inner yin life and the feminine and the mothering, or the styles of caring, or the irrational instinctual responses or abilities that you receive and respond to intimacy and comforts in the family that you find through others, want to balance on this day of the full moon. And the full moon is always a high point, a sense of culmination at the peak of this lunation cycle. And things come to a head now with truths being revealed, illuminating and culminating, and you know the answers instinctively. You may harvest the benefits of the new beginnings that you are ready to pick like ripe fruit that you sowed on the new moon on the 4th of December, 2021. But in the bigger picture, there is maturity that prevails, in the cycle's peak. And as a result, there is a heightened sense of clarity around who are you, Gemini? What is your persona? What are your curiosities and needs in terms of how you radiate out in the world? And what instinctual, expansive experiences come in through relationships that would like you to perceive and expand your horizons? You may be disappointed that the results are not of your intention and it's not quite how you had planned things to work out. And it's important, if this is how you feel, to forgive yourself and to prepare and to collaborate and to move forward. The thing that becomes illuminated for you is your relationship, the reflection, the projection of your partners, be they business partners, live-in lovers, marriage partners, best friends. Everything seems very energized on the full moon, and it increases. And you may be asking yourself, what is it in my relationships that I want to grow? What is it that I want to grow within myself? And peace and harmony is a good place to start. And I would suggest that you meditate around the full moon. This is not a time to confront anything that is different or difficult within a relationship, as this may be quite inflamed and there may be overreactions during the full moon. The concept of the full moon is that the desires of the moon, which is what you need, and the desires of the sun, which is who you are, may be at odds with each other. And it's important that the unconscious habits, which in your case are the relationships that you're in, that the consciousness of the sun, which is your personality, are aware that they are at war with each other on the day. And until you learn to balance this in your life, you may tend to bring a relationship into your life that mirrors the thing that you either desire or need. And it is impossible to make a decision on the full moon. It feels like a bipolar moon. And relationships are very essential, because what you need to be fully conscious of in terms of your relationship and the effects that your words and your actions have on others is profound and very important to be aware of on the full moon. So you can trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. In looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of your consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords for the full moon, dear Geminis, are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. I wish you a very special Gemini season. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, dear Cancers. Thank you for joining me on the Gemini season forecast. During the Taurus season from April 29th through until May the 21st, Mercury moved into the sign of Gemini. This is a place of rulership where Gemini behaves very rationally, through wit, very insightful, and very communicatively. And this has been occurring for you in an area of your life that relates to endings of cycles and loss, and matters related to your subconscious and your shadow side, anything that is secretive or that takes you away out of the system into the behind the scenes, where you can connect to imagination and to your intuition. Mercury is at 1 degree of Gemini as this Gemini season starts. And this is a brilliant time for you to review and reflect upon this area of your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you're not quite yet ready. And this is a good time for you to use the opportunity to sort out any unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized from behind the scenes. On the 21st of May, From 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. of the 22nd of May, Mercury retrograde is at 0 degrees and it is cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, maybe friends that you haven't seen in a while or friends that live overseas. This is a time for you to reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues around you feeling isolated and working from behind the scenes and needing to recharge your batteries and connect to intuition and your imagination. This is a sense of self-renouncing the world, letting go of the material so that you can connect with the spiritual. And during this retrograde period, the universe is not wanting you to start anything new, right? Mercury retrograde is not a time to be starting anything new. Rather, the universe wants you to rather complete any unfinished projects in the matters that I've related. So during May the 9th and the 23rd, Mercury is retrograde in Gemini, and this is, of course, an excellent time to review the information and catching up on all the intellectual matters related to what I've mentioned. But then on May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is now a great time to sort out all practical matters, especially regarding your finances, your money, your possessions, and your value systems in relation to networking with groups of people and in relation to friends that you have, and in relation to any hopes and dreams and ideals that you have, especially regarding receiving love from others, either friends or groups of people in society or any specific club or society that you relate to. There is this need to review who your friends are and who allows you to live your hopes and dreams and who supports you. From the 2nd of June, Mercury goes direct through to the 13th of June. And this is then a time to move forward. Once you've reviewed and you've reflashed and reworked during the Mercury retrograde period from the 23rd of May through to June the 2nd, and you've sorted this all out, this is when you're not wanting to start any new relationships. You can then, from the 2nd of June through to the 13th of June, make new friends, connect to new clubs, sign up to new groups and organizations, and create the new dreams that you want to have for yourself and receive love from new friends and groups of people. Also, on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, into Taurus, and she stays here until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes to your life the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability. So this would indicate to me that this is a fantastic time to make new female friends, maybe join an art group or matters related to jewelry or beautiful things. This is a fantastic time during May 28th through to 22 of June to connect with like-minded friends that enjoy pleasurability, attraction, and sensuality. On May the 25th at 1 a.m. 17 in the morning, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars, when in Aries, gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And for you, this is occurring, this energy, in the area of your life that relates to your career, to your sense of success, your actions out in the world, your reputation, and your status. Now, with Mars in this area, you are blessed with power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. Also because Jupiter entered this area of your life on the 10th of May and continues going forward direct until July the 27th, and then retrogrades until the 28th of October. into Pisces, and then from the 21st of December through to May the 16th of 2023, Jupiter is creating all of this expansion and nobility and spirituality and wisdom into the area of your career and reputation and status. Jupiter, after all, is the greater benefic. So Mars going into the sign of Aries on May the 25th kind of kickstarts this new expansion in terms of your career and your vocation and your sense of success out in the world, your actions out in the world. If you are retired, you still have actions out into the world, and it would relate to that. So on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. at 9 degrees of Gemini, we have the new moon blessing us with the time to set intentions for yourself. The new moon relates to new beginnings and also gives you the pause and rest that you require to connect with your imagination and your intuition and visions for the next lunation cycle. And you may feel very withdrawn on this new moon because it's in an area of your life that wants you to self-renunciate the material world. It wants you to connect to spirit and God and the angels and everything that's invisible, like imagination and intuition. And this new moon phase is now a perfect time to reflect also upon your last lunation cycle. This is a time for you to recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, whereby you realize that you will need more time out for yourself to isolate, recharge, connect with your angels, stop so that the angels can catch up and land on your shoulder. This month of the Gemini season would like you to understand the sense of self-renouncing the material world and experiencing loss of something that no longer serves you, something that from a subconscious way is self-destructive to you, something like an addiction or any kind of chronic illness. It's time to let go of this. And it is part of your new growth and development and your potential to use these energies, and also those from Mars and Jupiter, because they are dancing in harmony on this new moon, and they allow you ambition and bold, courageous steps that you can take in regards to your career and your actions out into the world that will aid you during this reflective inward time to realize how working from behind the scenes or taking time out to connect to imagination and intuition will give you this boost of power and dynamism and ambition and assertion in your career. Now on the 3rd of June, all the way through to October the 22nd, we have Saturn going retrograde in an area of your life that relates to irrevocable change. It relates to grief and letting go. It relates to traumas and anxieties, and also to all shared resources, those that you receive from others is spiritual, emotional, financial, physical, and those that you give of yourself. So this can relate to taxes, to a bond, to inheritances. And here the universe would like you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and also reauthorize you to plan and structure these matters to a sense of your own highest form of stability and discipline and structuring. Now, Pluto has been retrograde and continues to be retrograde throughout the Gemini season in an area of your life that relates to marriage partners, business partners, best friends, or live-in lovers. And you have already let go of this. Pluto retrograde is slowing down this cathartic, transformative energy around endings and releasing and purging and detoxifying the relationships that oppressed you and that no longer serve your highest truth. And the retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you've already let go of, namely the relationships that were oppressive. And you can now review how empowered you feel, and you can create other to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April to October the 7th, which may require even further regenerative purging, upgrading, and progress in processing. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours and 51 South African Standard Time. At 23 degrees of Gemini, and equally so, that's the sun, and 23 degrees of Sagittarius, the moon. And this full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December of 2021. Now, full moon indicates a climax, and matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon are 180 degrees, opposing each other in the sky. The sun, which is your ego self and your personality and the center of your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, and your masculine nature, your yang, the father within you, and that about you that is radiant and conscious as light and that is shining as bright light out into the world, which on this full moon has a deep need to be replenished, to be recharged, and to step away from the world and hide and connect to your imagination and to your intuition. And then there's the side, which is the moon, which relates to your emotional needs, your inner yin life, your feminine, the mother part of who you are, your styles of caring, your irrational instinctual responses, your ability to receive and respond to intimacy, to comfort, to the family sense of what does family mean to you. And it needs to find balance on this full moon. And there's a sense that you want to be of service to others as a seeker, as a sense of somebody who perceives and wants to have adventure and expand and be careless and quite generous and adventurous in your ways. And this is how you want to be of service to other people. And yet your sun is asking you to step away and almost lick your own wounds, experience the loss of an ending of a cycle, something that whereby you've realized that connecting to spirit and imagination is hugely replenishing to you. So there's this need to want to withdraw completely, but at the same time, the moon wants you to interact and be of service to others. So it's this balance about how much time do I need alone and how much time and energy do I give of myself to be of service to others. Now, the full moon is always a high point. It's a culmination of a peak of this lunation cycle, and things come to a head. Now, with truths being revealed and illuminated and a sense of culmination experienced, you know within you instinctively what is going on. This is a time where you want to harvest the benefits of the new beginning that make you feel like you want to pick the fruit of what you sowed in December 2021. But altogether, as a bigger picture, there's a sense of maturity that prevails at the cycle's peak. As a result, there's a heightened sense of clarity as to how often do you need to be isolated and hide from the world and connect to spirit, and how can that energy that's recharged you during those times help you in being of service to others. Now, if there's a disappointment on the full moon, which may exist if your intentions hadn't worked out as you planned, then it's very important that you forgive yourself and that you prepare and collaborate to move forward. And what is becoming illuminated at this full moon, specifically for you, is how you are of service to others, how, or even matters related to staff that you employ or where you are employed as staff, or even matters related to animals or pets if you have. And this is seriously where you feel like you want to just be more carefree and have more adventure and have more fun. And everything feels more energized and increased around these subjects. And you could ask yourself, what is it in my life that I want to grow? And is it more peace and harmony? And if it is, then meditate during the full moon. And you don't want to be confronting anything that's different or difficult as a situation on this full moon, because everyone's highly sensitive. Rather wait for the full moon to pass. So the concept is that the moon and the sun are opposing each other and their desires. In other words, your sun, which is who you are, and it wants to hide and be out of the limelight and work from behind the scene. And then your moon, which wants to be of service to others in a very open-minded, full of belief systems and religious and spiritual ways, they are at loggerheads with each other on this day. So sometimes it's impossible to make a decision on the full moon because it feels like we are bipolar. And here, what is important is to realize that the relationships in your life on this full moon are essential, and that you need to be fully conscious of the effects and the words that your actions have on this full moon towards others. Dear Cancerians, I wish you a beautiful Gemini season. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, dear Leos. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season. During Taurus season from April the 29th through to May the 21st, Mercury went into its sign of rulership, namely Gemini. And here Mercury is very witty and insightful and rational and very communicative. And for you, this has been playing out in an area related to your hopes and dreams and the love that you receive from others. It also matters related to deciding who are your friends and who are you networking with and who supports you and what group and society and club do you want to belong to. That very much relates to receiving love from others. Now, Mercury is retrograde on the 21st of May as we enter Gemini season. And this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. And it's a time for you to use this opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. And it's an excellent time to get organized around these groups of people and their friends and the networking that I've mentioned. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. through to 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees and Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues around groups of people and networking, and matters related to what you believe are your hopes and dreams. Now, if you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead would have you rather complete any unfinished projects first. Now, from the 14th of June through to the 5th of May, Mercury will be direct. So that will be a good time for you to start new friendships, new signing up to networks and groups of people, and setting new intentions for your hopes and dreams. So while Gemini is retrograde during the 9th of May through to the 23rd of May, it would be an excellent time for reviewing the information and catching up on intellectual matters that you need to sort out. And from the 14th of June through to the 5th of July is when you start moving forward on these decisions. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into the sign of Taurus until the June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out all practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems in regards to your career, your possessions, your status out in the world, your reputations, your actions out into the world, and what you believe is your most personal high sense of success. And it's then on the 2nd of June that Mercury goes direct in the sign of Taurus through to the 13th of June. And this is now time for you to move forward in these career and profession related matters. From May the 28th at 16:46 p.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, namely Taurus, and she stays here until the 22nd of June. Here she attributes your life with the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability in regards to your career and your actions out in the world, your status, your reputation. On May the 25th at 1 17 a.m. in the morning, South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars, when in Aries, gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And coupled together with Jupiter, that also went into Aries on the 10th of May and stays there until July the 27th, when Jupiter goes retrograde until the 28th of October. And then again from 21st of December through to May the 16th of 2023, you have the strength that Mars is kicking off the power and dynamism and ambition and assertion in all matters related to overseas travel, matters with foreigners, matters related to legalities, to advertising, to publishing, to anything to do with higher tertiary education. That could be working with universities or professors, or busy doing your masters, becoming a counselor, a wise spiritual person. This is matters related to your belief system and philosophies and religions. They will be taking off and expanding because Jupiter is the greater benefic, and it allows for more of this in our lives. And for you specific, it's happening in this area of your life. The new moon happens on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini. And this new moon blesses you with the time of setting new intentions. The new moon relates to new beginnings and also to the pause and rest that you require to connect with your imagination, intuition, and visions for the next lunation cycle, which will involve a lot of networking and groups of friends and living your hopes and dreams and ideals and receiving love from others. So you can use this new moon phase to reflect upon your last lunation phase and cycle. You can recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for this next new moon cycle. And this brings new developments and new growth potential and fresh energy. With Mars at 4 degrees and Aries at 3 degrees, Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries, they are in harmony with this new moon, and they will infuse ambition, bold ambition, and energies into this mix of reflection and inward bound powers in regards to foreign travel or overseas, or the adventures or belief systems, or expanding your spirituality, or connecting with legal matters or publishing will be expanded, and you will have time to reflect upon this on that new moon. It's on the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd that Saturn goes retrograde in its sign of dignity, namely Aquarius. And here, this will help you, dear Leos, to restructure, to restabilize, to rediscipline, to authoritarianly connect with your business partners, your marriage partners, your live-in lovers, or your best friends. This is an excellent time to entrench the new structures and the stability that comes with your relationships. Pluto is also retrograde during this Gemini season, and it has been slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and releasing and purging and detoxifying around oppressive situations in regards of how you are of service to others, or how they are of service to you, or matters related to pets, or matters related to any diseases that you may have. And here, that which oppressed you is no longer serving you or your highest truth, and you've been letting this go. And the retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you've already let go of, namely the oppressive things I've mentioned. You can now review how empowered you feel and create further to-do lists that you may recognize during the retrograde period, 28 April to October the 7th, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes regarding how you are of service to others or staff that you employ, or matters related to any illnesses or your pets. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at the 1300 hours 51 South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini Sun and 23 degrees of the moon in Sagittarius. This full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December 2021. Now, full moon always indicates a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun, which is on the one side, and the moon at the other side of the 180 degrees are opposing each other in the sky. The sun, which is your ego self and your personality and the center of your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, the sense of your masculinity and your yang and your father expression and who it is that you radiate conscious light and shine your light out into the world, which for you is very much related to your hopes and dreams and ideals and the groups of friends that you have and the networking that you do and the love that you receive from others. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs, your inner yin life, your feminine, the mother, your styles of caring, your irrational instinctual response, your ability to receive and respond to intimacy, to comforts, to what makes you feel like the family, and how it is that you give love of yourself, which is in a very seeking, perceptive, expansive, generous, optimistic, adventurous, fun-loving way. And it's this connection around the details that you want in regards to the friends and the groups of society and your hopes and dreams and receiving love and the sense of just being generous and free and adventurous in giving your love. That is where the full moon is playing out for you, dear Leos. Now, the full moon is always a high point where there's a culmination and there's a peak of a lunation cycle. And things come to a head now with truths being revealed. There's a sense of illumination and culmination, and you know things instinctively. You harvest the benefits of new beginnings, and you are ready to pick up the ripe fruit that you sowed during the new moon of 4th of December 2021. But in the bigger picture, maturity energy prevails as the cycle peaks. As a result, there is a heightened sense of clarity. Disappointments may exist if the results of the new intention are not working out as planned. Forgiveness then is important to yourself. Prepare to collaborate and move forward. And what is becoming illuminated here is how you give love of yourself, how you express yourself, how you want to be creative and have fun, and matters related to children and new projects and to adventures and to travel and any new project that you may be starting in a creative way. Everything seems very energized around these subjects and increased. And you may ask yourself, what is it that I want to have grow in my life? Certainly peace and harmony in regards to matters related to children and having fun and expressing yourself and giving love and starting up new projects. And you'd like to meditate on that around the full moon. You certainly don't want to confront anything that is different or difficult around these situations during the full moon. Rather wait maybe a day or two after. The concept around the full moon is that the sun, which is for you relating to your friends and your ideals and your hopes and dreams and the groups of people that you connect with, and this desire is at odds with your desire in terms of what you need when it comes to how you give love of yourself. And these unconscious habits of how you give love of yourself and how you want to express yourself in a creative way, and this conscious awareness of who are my friends and who am I networking with and when do I go out and receive love, they are at war with each other on this full moon. And until you learn to balance them in your life, you may bring in relationships into your life that mirror either one or the other, your desire or your need. So it's very important during the full moon to be aware that you are fully conscious of the effects of your words and your actions when you speak to others. And it almost seems impossible on the full moon to make a decision regarding this, which is fine. It's about having an awareness and understanding the balance. Now, if you can trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and your personal growth and evolution, and also in looking to the right relationships, you want to proceed through the clarity of the light of the consciousness about these situations and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords such as results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, and peace and stillness abound in the full moon. Thank you, dear Leos, for joining me today. I wish you a beautiful season. Take care. Bye. Hi, dear Virgo. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. From April the 29th during the Taurus season still through to May the 21st, which is the Gemini season, we have had Mercury in the sign of Gemini. Here, Mercury is very witty and rational and insightful and communicative. And this has been occurring for you in an area related to your career and your profession, your status out in the world, your reputation, and what it is that you like to act out into the world if you are retired, if you don't have a profession. It's the sense of what is your personal sense of self. And there would be a lot of clarity with Mercury in the sign of Gemini. Now, during the 21st of May period, when Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini, this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life. The retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. Use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters regarding your career, your profession, your actions out into the world from the past. Sort those out. It's an excellent time to get organized. Then on May the 21st, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, Mercury retrograde is at Gemini 0 degrees and Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect from business partners from the past or friends from the past that relate to your career. Reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, and resolve issues regarding your vocation and your profession out in the world. If you have any new ideas regarding this, to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. It is from the 14th of June until the 5th of July that Mercury is going direct in Gemini, and this would be a time for you to move forward, start something new regarding your career matters. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems, regarding foreign entities, foreigners, matters regarding to legal or advertising or publishing, or any matters related to anything that's spiritual and that is related to wisdom, universities, professors, studying any form of higher tertiary education, or any matters related to philosophies. And then on the 2nd of June, when Mercury goes direct in Taurus through to the 13th of June, you can activate any new beginnings regarding these matters. Also on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, namely Taurus, through till 22nd of June. And here she attributes to your life the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability regarding all the matters that I had mentioned: foreigners, advertising, traveling internationally, belief systems, gurus, wise people, etc. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And here Mars gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And for you, dear Virgos, this relates to receiving resources from others, financial, emotional, physical, or spiritual. This would be a great time to ask for a loan from the bank if you need, or to get a refund from the tax man, or perhaps there's an inheritance coming your way, perhaps there's a new romance coming your way. There's certainly the sense that you can ask for what it is that you need. And here this relates to shared resources. So people may be asking you as a resource to assist them, or they you. However, there's a lot of power and dynamism and ambition and assertion around this, and also expansion, because on the 10th of May, Jupiter went into the sign of Aries and remains there until July the 27th, when Jupiter goes retrograde until the 28th of October, and then again 21 December through to May 16th, 2023. Jupiter is expanding this area of your life, saying, receive more, have less anxieties and less traumas and less worries. It's also an area where we experience grief, and Jupiter can bring light into these situations for you. Now, on the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, Saturn is going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Now, during this retrograde period, Saturn is allowing you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline yourself, and also be re-authoritarian in matters related to how you are of service to other people. Also, in regards to pets, if you have any, or matters related to your health or any disease that you have, this is an excellent time to restructure and restabilize the situation. At the beginning of the Gemini season, Pluto is still retrograde, and it is slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and release and purging and detoxifying that has been oppressing you and no longer serves your highest truth regarding matters related to your children, matters related to how you give love of yourself, how you enjoy holidays and having fun or doing sports, or anything that's got to do with creating a new project that is giving love of yourself. Now, this retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what it is that you've already let go of, namely that which was oppressive in these matters. You can now review how empowered you feel, and you can create other to-do lists that you may recognize during the retrograde period, 28th April to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processing. On the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time, at 9 degrees of Gemini, the new moon blesses you with a time to set intentions regarding your career, your vocation, your profession, how you act out in the world, what it is that you think is your own personal sense of highest form of success. This new moon relates to the new beginnings and also to the pause and rest you require to connect with your imagination and intuition and visions for this next upcoming lunation cycle. Use this new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle and recharge and reconnect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which will bring in the new developments and the new growth potential and the fresh energies regarding your reputation, your status out in the world, your career, and your profession. Aries has Jupiter and Mars in it at 3 and 4 degrees, and they infuse a bold ambition of energies into this reflective, inward bound time of the new moon. And it is making you aware of the changes that you are going through in terms of how you are resourced to others and they to you. Now, on the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours 51 South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini Sun and 23 degrees of the moon in Sagittarius. Now, this full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December, 2021. The full moon indicates a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun, which relates to your career and how you shine out in the world, and your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, your masculine yang father instinct, and how you radiate your conscious light and shine your light out into the world through your career and your actions out in the world. And the moon, which is the reflective, emotional needs that your inner yin life, your feminine, the mothering part of your nature, your style of caring, your sense of irrational instinctual responses, and your abilities to receive and respond intimacy, comforts, and the sense of family and what home means to you, which here has the sense of wanting to be a little bit more adventurous and wanting to seek and perceive a sense of carelessness and optimism and generosity is your feeling around home and family life. And it's during the full moon that this point, this high point, this culmination occurs in this lunation cycle. And things come to a head now with truths being revealed and illuminated and culminated. And you know this instinctively. You harvest the benefits of the new beginnings that are ready for picking that you sowed at the last new moon on the 4th of December 2021. But the bigger picture, the maturity, is that the energy that prevails around this peak of the cycle are the results that your senses are heightened and clear. Disappointment may exist if the results of your new intention did not work out as planned. And here it would be important for you to forgive yourself and prepare and collaborate and move forward. And what exactly is being illuminated for you are matters related to home and family, the place of living, your garden, the sense of family, and this need to want to grow and seek ways of having family life and matters related to home. Everything seems more energized around home and family matters and more increased. And you may ask yourself, what do you want to have grow in your family life and in your matters related to your home that you live in? Of course, peace and harmony. And then it would be very important for you to meditate on this on the day. And you don't want to confront anything that is a different or difficult situation during this full moon. Wait a few days before you do approach such subjects. The concept is that the moon, which is your home and family life, and the sun, which is your career and your status out in the limelight, your actions out into the world, are on opposite ends of your desires. So the sun, which is who you are, and you very much relate to that as your being your career and being out in the world, is at odds with your moon, which really wants you to have family time and to be at home and to be needed in the family environment and do things around the home. And this unconscious habit of wanting to be at home and be nurturing, and this conscious desire to be out in the world are at war with each other. And until you learn to balance these in your life, you will tend to bring relationships into your life that mirror either your desire to be out in the world and work or your need to be at home with the family. So it's impossible on that full moon, we feel a little torn to make a decision around either of these experiences. However, it's important to understand that relationships are essential in your life and that you need to be fully conscious of the effects of your words and actions that you have on the full moon. So trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and closer to your inner truth and your personal growth and evolution. In looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords such as results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness will bless you on this full moon. Thank you for joining me, dear Virgos. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, dear Librans. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. During the Taurus season from April 29th until May the 21st, Mercury went into the sign of its rulership, Gemini. Here, Mercury acts very rational and witty, insightful, and communicative. And you would have felt this, dear Librans, in all matters related to the foreigners, teaching, any tertiary education, philosophies, religions, publishing, legal matters, and yeah, everything related to foreigners, I think I'd mentioned. On the 21st of May, when the Gemini season starts, Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini. And this is then a brilliant time to review and reflect upon these areas in your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready, and to use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized around these matters. So this is Gemini being retrograde from the 9th of May through to the 2nd of June. Now, during this time, it is excellent for you to review the information and catch up on any intellectual matters regarding things that are from the past that need to be sorted out. And it's on the 21st of May from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May that the retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees of Gemini. It's Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, maybe somebody from overseas or somebody who you share certain philosophy with. And this is an excellent time to reorganize or return or revisit or repeat or resolve issues regarding foreigners, matters of teaching, courses that you're doing, university degrees that you may be involved with, or teaching, the publishing, etc., as was mentioned. Now, if you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. And it's from the 14th of June until the 5th of July that Mercury is going direct. That is a good time, 14th of June until 5th of July, to start up any of these new matters. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out all practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems in relation to receiving from others, be it spiritual, financial, emotional, or physical. How are other people a resource for you, and how are you a resource for them? And this could very much relate also to investments or bonds or taxes or inheritances, but it can also very much relate to any fears, anxieties, or traumas or grief that you may want to rework and then let go of after during the retrograde. It's a fantastic time to rework them. And then as on the 2nd of June through to the 13th of June, when Mercury is going direct in Taurus, would be a good time to start anything new in regards to these matters. Also on May the 28th at the 1600 hours 46, Venus moves into her sign of rulership, which is Taurus, and she stays here until June the 22nd. And here she attributes to your lives the energies of pleasurability, of attraction, and of sensuality. So this could be a time for you, dear Librans, to be receiving funds from others, either through emotional, physical experiences, or directly through financial experiences. This is a time to be receiving from others. On May the 25th at 1 hour and 17 minutes a.m., Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And for you, dear Libras, this is occurring in an area of your life that relates to marriage partners, business partners, best friends, and live-in lovers. Now, Jupiter also moved into the sign of Aries on May the 10th, and continues directly through to July the 27th, then goes retrogrades through to 28th of October, but again on 21st of December until May 16th of 2023, Jupiter is allowing for expansion in this area of your life. Jupiter is the greater benefic, and we look to wise people, and we look to philosophers, and to anybody who could be a counselor towards us as an expansion in our life during this time. And it's this May 25th time period where Mars is going into its sign of dignity that really kickstarts off this expansive experience. Now, the new moon occurs on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini. And this new moon creates a blessing and a time for you to set intentions. The new moon relates to new beginnings and also to the pause and rest that you require to connect with your imagination and intuition and visions for the next lunation cycle. Now, we could use this new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle, but you can also recharge and connect with your wisdom of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which brings in new developments and new growth potential and fresh energies regarding matters related to foreign and overseas, to wise person, to counselors, to gurus, to university degrees, to any kind of form of higher tertiary education, any advertising, any publishing that you may be experiencing. And it's a harmonious aspect, a sextile from Mars at 4 degrees and Jupiter at 3 degrees, which is infusing bold ambition into this energy of Aries, into this time of reflection and inward bound powers through relationships that will be activating the sense of dynamism and ambition and assertion within you. On the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, Saturn goes retrograde. And in Aquarius, Saturn is dignified. It brings with it structure and stability and discipline and authoritativeness. And for you, dear Librans, this time from the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, asks you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and reauthoritize matters related to how you give love of yourself. How do you express yourself creatively? How do you like to have fun and enjoy sport? And how are you a lover? And how do you deal with children? And it's how do you give love of yourself? It's a time for you to restructure this. What you have been restructuring, and Pluto continues to be retrograde in this Gemini season. And it's slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and releasing a sense of purging and detoxifying of all that has oppressed you around family and home life and matters related to father and the land that you live on and the house that you're in. And matters that oppressed you there, you've now let go because they don't serve your highest truth. And this retrograde Pluto period presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you have already let go of, namely these oppressive matters I mentioned. You can now review how empowered you feel and create other to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April through to October 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes. It is on the 14th of June that we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours 51 South African Standard Time. At 23 degrees of Gemini is the sun, and 23 degrees of moon is 23 degrees of Sagittarius is the moon. And this full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December. A full moon always indicates a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon are 180 degrees apart from each other in the sky. Now, the sun relates to your ego self, your personality, the center of your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, your masculine yang father nature, and how you shine out into the world radiantly through conscious light as a being. And this, for you, dear Librans, very much relates to matters of foreign, matters of higher tertiary education, matters related to spirituality, belief systems, philosophies, advertising, publishing. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs, your inner life, your yin life, the feminine, the mother part of your nature, your styles of caring, how you are irrational and instinctual in your responses, your ability to receive and respond to intimacy and comforts, and the idea of family require a sense of balance regarding matters related to how you communicate and how you teach, how you write, how you commute in your day-to-day activities, matters related to your neighbors also and your siblings. This is the balance that you're feeling, that there is a sense of detail required regarding neighbors and siblings, and there's a sense of needing to be talkative, and yet there is also a desire to seek and perceive and to be generous and adventurous and think of the bigger picture in regards to your nature of expressing who you are. So the full moon is a high point culminating at the peak of this lunation cycle, and things come to a head now with the truths revealed, illuminating and culminating, and you know this instinctively. This is a time for you to harvest the benefits of the new beginnings, of any ready to pick fruits that you sowed at the new moon phase in 4th of December 2021. But in the bigger picture, the sense of maturity prevails as the cycle peaks, and there's a sense of results that are heightened, which give you clarity. Disappointment may exist if the results of the new intention do not work out as you had planned. Forgiveness is important for yourself, to yourself. Prepare to collaborate and move forward. What is becoming illuminated for you in your life? And here is the sense of wanting to communicate and teach or deal with matters related to neighbors and foreigners on the bigger sense of perception, where you think in an optimistic way, where you want to be more generous and adventurous and have a lot more fun. This is what's being illuminated in terms of how you teach and how you communicate, and all matters related to your day-to-day commute and siblings and your neighbors. Now, this concept is that the moon, which is you wanting to communicate more around the bigger picture, is at odds with your sun, which wants to discuss all the details of matters. And it is important that this unconscious habit of the moon, which wants to look at the bigger picture, and the conscious energies around the sun, which wants to look at all the details in terms of matters foreign and teaching. And it's important to balance these two as a relationship in your life throughout this time. It's impossible to make decisions on the day because you're torn between both, and you may feel a little bipolar. So it's important to understand how relationships are essential in your life, and that you must be fully conscious in terms of the effects of your words and your actions, and what effect they have on others during this full moon. So trust and know that the events around this full moon are in harmony with you getting closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. In looking for your right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords for the full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projecting, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. I wish you this beautiful season. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care. Bye for now. Dear Scorpios, thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. From April 29th to the Taurus season through to May 21st, Gemini, Mercury has been in the sign of Gemini, and this allows for Mercury to act in a very rational, communicative, witty way. And this has been playing out in an area of your life related to where you have fears and anxieties, where it is that you feel you are a resource for others and they for you, spiritual, emotional, financial, or physical. So this very much relates to receiving a bond from somebody else, or receiving an inheritance, or maybe tax matters could relate to that. It's about you and others interacting. And with the rational, witty insights with Mercury in this area of your chart, there could be a lot of forward momentum and clarity. However, Mercury is retrograde as we start the Gemini season at 1 degree of Gemini. And this is a brilliant time for you to review and reflect upon these areas in your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. Use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees of Gemini and is Cazimi and is known as being in the heart of the sun. This strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. As Mercury is retrograde this day, it is specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies of to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues in the matters that I've mentioned. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. However, from the dates of the 14th of June through to 5th of July, Mercury is going direct, and that would be a brilliant time to start up matters in the subjects I'd mentioned regarding being a resource to others and they to you. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money positions and value systems in relationships to marriage partners, business partners, live-in lovers, and best friends. And it's from the 2nd of June that Mercury goes direct in Taurus through to the 13th of June. And this would be an excellent time to start up something new with partnerships. On May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, namely Taurus, and she stays there until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes to your life the energy of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability in regards to relationships. So this is a perfect time to hang out specifically maybe with feminine friends, or bring romance back into your relationship, or certainly enhance the sensuality and the beauty within your relationships. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into the sign of its dignity, namely Aries. Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power and dynamism and ambition and assertion. And this is very much related to how you are of service to the world, or it could relate to any diseases that you have that you're working through, or any staff that you employ. So it's either you are employed by others or staff is employed by you. And there's a sense of dynamism and power and ambition and assertion around this, but also a sense of expansion, because Jupiter went into Aries on the 10th of May and stays there until July the 27th, going direct. And then Jupiter goes retrograde until the 28th of October, and again 21 December through to May 16th of 2023, Jupiter is going direct, creating the sense of expansion in terms of how it is that you are of service to others and matters related to any animals or pets that you have. Now, the new moon is occurring on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini, which is the new moon blessing you with the time to set intentions. And the new moon also relates to new beginnings, also to the pause and rest that you require to connect with your imagination and intuition and visions for the next lunation cycle. The new moon phase is a time to reflect upon your last lunation cycle, but also to recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which brings with it new developments, new growth, potentiality, and fresh energies regarding how you can be a resource to others, specifically how you can receive resources from others, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial. Now, Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries are having a harmonious aspect at the new moon, and they infuse bold ambition as an energy into this reflective inward bound powers from a place of how you are of service to others, reviewing this and how others are of service to you, but also matters related to pets and any diseases that you may have. Saturn goes retrograde on the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd in its sign of dignity, that being Aquarius. And for you, dear Scorpios, this is allowing you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and reauthorize yourself as an expert when it comes to matters around home and family life. This is reorganizing all things father, property, land that you're living on. Pluto is also retrograde still throughout this season, and it is slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings, releasing and purging and detoxifying that you've experienced around matters that oppress you and no longer serve your highest truth in regards to how you think, how you communicate, what your neighborhood is like, what your day-to-day commute is like, and also matters related to siblings and your neighbors, and of course anything talking, communicating, writing, contracts, all of those matters. You've let go of a lot already, that which was oppressive for you, and you can now review how empowered you feel, and you can create further to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April till October the 7th 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes for you, dear Scorpios. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours 51 South African Standard Time, at 23 degrees of Gemini, the sun, and 23 degrees of Sagittarius, the moon. And this full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December for you. A full moon always indicates a climax, and matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon, which are 180 degrees away from each other in the sky, oppose each other. The sun, which is your ego self and your personality, in the center of your individuality and your sense of vitality and purpose, and your sense of masculinity and yang and father energy, and also how you radiate your conscious light being and how you shine this out into the world, which for you, dear Scorpios, is a sense of that you are a resource to others. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs and your inner yin life, your feminine, the sense of being a mother to yourself and your style of caring for yourself, the sense of yourself that is irrational and instinctual and responsive and has the ability to receive and respond to intimacy and to comforts, and the sense of family and the sense of finding balance within yourself, is leaning towards wanting to be a little bit more careless and optimistic and generous, and wanting to experience a little bit more fun and seek and perceive matters related to your finances and your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth. So there's this push and pull between the two. The full moon is at its high point, and it's culminating at the peak of its lunation cycle. Things are coming to head now, and truths are being revealed and illuminated in this culmination. And you may want to harvest the benefits of the new beginning as you are ready to pick the fruits of what you sowed at the new moon on the 4th of December. And in the bigger picture here, there's a maturity that prevails in this peak cycle. And there's a sense of heightened sense of clarity regarding your finances and finance received from others. Disappointments may exist if the results of the new intentions did not work out as planned. Forgiving yourself is important. Prepare to collaborate and move forward. What is becoming illuminated here is your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-esteem and confidence, and matters around your finances and possessions. Everything seems more energized and increased in regards to these matters. And you want to know, what is it that I want to grow? Do I want to grow peace and harmony in these matters? Then meditate around this. And you certainly don't want to confront anything that is different or difficult as a situation during this full moon. The concept is that this moon, which radiates its light in terms of how you receive resources from others, and your moon, which radiates how you are a resource to yourself and how your self-esteem and confidence can create finances and possessions for yourself. They are at each other's odds during this full moon. And here, your unconscious habits of wanting to look after yourself financially and want to adventure through that and expand through that. And this desire to want to be in a relationship and receive resources from others is where you are going to try and balance out throughout this full moon. Maybe impossible to make a decision on the full moon because you might feel a bit bipolar, but most important is to realize that relationships in your life are important and that you need to be fully conscious that the effects of your words and actions have on others during the full moon. Now, it's important to trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. And in looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desire. Keywords for the full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. Thank you for joining me today, dear Scorpios. Take care. Bye for now. Hey, dear Sagittarians, thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. From April the 29th through to May the 21st, Mercury has been in the sign of Gemini. This gifts you with the sense of rational, witty, insightful, and communicative energies regarding marriage partners, business partners, live-in lovers, and best friends. During the Mercury Retrograde, which is on the 21st of May as the season starts, but it already began on May the 29th through until the 23rd, there is an excellent time for you to review information and catch up on intellectual matters regarding your relationship. Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini on the 21st of May, and this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life. The retrograde period is the universe saying to you that you are not yet ready regarding marriage partners, business partners, and relationships, live-in lovers. It is saying use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It is an excellent time to get organized. On May the 21st, from 4:44 p.m. through to 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, retrograde Gemini is at 0 degrees of Gemini and is Cazimi, also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. Mercury is retrograde on this day, specifically suitable for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with friends from the past, reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues regarding your marriage partners, business partners, live-in lovers, or best friends. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. Now, it's during the 14th of June to 5th of July period that Mercury will be going direct, and this would be an excellent time to start up or process all the new things related to relationships in your life. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems in relationship to how you are of service to others in your life or they to you. This could be staff that you employ, or any matters are related to diseases or illness, or even pets if you have any. From the 2nd of June to the 13th of June, Mercury is going direct in the sign of Taurus. So this would be a great time to then start up new projects in these themes. On May the 28th at 16:46, Venus then also moves into her sign of rulership until the 22nd of June, which is Taurus. And here she attributes to your life the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability into your day-to-day routines, into matters related to you employing other people, matters related to your diseases, if you have any, and also to pets. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into the sign of dignity, namely Aries. Mars in Aries gifts you with the energies of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion regarding matters of joy and pleasure and bliss to you. This could be matters related to children. This could be matters related to how you give love of yourself, how you express yourself as a lover, how you express yourself as a creative person or somebody who enjoys fun and traveling and having a good time. Now, Jupiter moves into the sign already on the 10th of May through to July the 27th as a direct movement, but then moves direct through to 28th of October, and again from 21 December through to May the 16th of 2023. You are blessed in this area of expansion. Jupiter is the planet of gifts from heaven, and this is really a time for you to explore what gives you bliss, what gives you joy, how do you have fun, how do you give love of yourself. Now, on the 30th of May at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9:03 degrees of Gemini, the new moon will bless you with a time to set new intentions. The new moon relates to new beginnings and also to the pause and rest that you require to connect with your imagination, intuition, and visions for the next lunation cycle. You are now in the new moon phase, and you can reflect upon your last lunation cycle. You can recharge and connect with your wisdom of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which brings new developments, new growth potential, and fresh energies regarding relationships, marriage relationships, business partnerships, best friends, and live-in lovers. Now, Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries infuse and mix into this reflective inward bound energy the bold ambition of Aries regarding how it is that you give love of yourself and how you enjoy having fun and where it is that you find bliss. And this could be related to matters related to children or simply also projects, new creative projects. On the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, Saturn in its sign of dignity, namely Aquarius, where it has great structure, stability, discipline, and authoritativeness, is in an area of your chart that relates to how you communicate, how you think, how you write, matters related to documents and contracts, and also matters related to your immediate environment, your day-to-day commute, and also your neighbors and your siblings. And this retrograde period with Saturn in dignity allows you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and re-authoritate yourself regarding these matters. Now, Pluto is also retrograde as we start this Gemini season, and it's slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and releasing and purging and detoxifying that you've experienced regarding matters that oppress you when it comes to your finances, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and your possession. This retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you've already let go of, namely that which was oppressive regarding your possessions and your self-esteem. You can now review how empowered you feel and create other to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period, 28th of April to October the 7th, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1 hour and 51 minutes p.m. South African Standard Time. This full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December 2021. Full moons indicate a climax. Matters come to a head, and the energies between the sun and the moon at 180 degrees oppose each other in the sky. The sun, which relates to your ego self and your personality and the center of your individuality and your sense of vitality and purpose, your sense of masculine yang, fathering and energy, and how it is that you radiate conscious light out into the world is very much entangled with your partnerships, your marriage partnerships, your business partnerships. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs, your inner yin life, your feminine, how you mother yourself, how you care for yourself, your irrational, instinctual, responsive, your ability to receive and respond to intimacy and comforts, the sense of what family means to you, are very much at balance with each other during this full moon. The relationships seek detail and expressive communication, while your sense of your physical body and your self-esteem and your persona is looking for adventure and wants to experiment and have fun and be optimistic and generous and carefree. And this is coming to a head during the full moon, which is always a culmination point of a peak of the lunation cycle. Things are coming to a head now with truths being revealed. And there's a sense of illumination and culmination. And you may want to harvest the ripe fruit of what the seed was that you sowed during the 4th of December, new moon. The bigger picture is that you have a sense of heightened clarity and maturity prevails throughout this full moon. You may feel a bit disappointed if the results of your new intentions have not quite worked out as you had planned. And it's very important then to forgive yourself and prepare to collaborate and move forward. What is being illuminated here is what your needs are, what your physical needs are in terms of your health and your persona, and how you want to explore and express yourself as somebody who is a seeker, somebody who perceives and believes in philosophies and religions and travel, and has a very generous, optimistic, creative, careless nature. Everything regarding this is energized and increased, and you are going to ask yourself, what is it that I want to grow in my life? And if it is the sense of being a seeker and wanting to travel and explore and adventure and have fun, then meditate around this so that you can create this through peace and harmony. It's not a time to be confronting partners around these difficult situations during the full moon. The concept here is that the moon, which is your partner, and the sun, so the moon, which relates to your physical body, and the moon and the sun, which relates to your partner, are at odds to each other here. And there is this unconscious habit that your moon, which is your physical body and your health, is seeking to balance out through the mirroring of a relationship, the details of the curiosity of being in a relationship. And it's impossible to make a decision on a full moon because it has a sense of bipolarness to it. But what is important is that relationships are important and essential, and that you need to be fully conscious of the effects of your words and actions that you have upon others. It's important to trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and your personal growth and evolution. And in looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of your consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of sheer desires. Keywords for this full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. Thank you, dear Sagittarians, for joining me on this Gemini forecast. Take care and goodbye. Hi, Capricorns. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. On April 29th through to May 21, Mercury has gone into the sign of its dignity, Gemini, where it is rational, witty, insightful, and communicative. And for you, this has been assisting you, dear Capricorns, in the areas related to how you are of service to others, and also matters related to how staff is of service to you, also to matters related to any diseases that you may have and any pets if you own any. Mercury's retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini as the Gemini season starts. And this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon these areas of your life. This retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready. Use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized regarding how you have service to others and others to you, and matters related to any diseases or pets that you have. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, the retrograde Gemini is Cazimi, which is also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. Being retrograde, this is a day to specifically suitable for gifting you with the energy to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, prepare, research, or even reconnect with friends or staff from the past or clients from the past, reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues from the past. If you have any new ideas to start something new, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished projects first. And it's from 14th of June until 5th of July that Mercury is going direct. That would be a good time for you to start up in these areas of your life, new things. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. This is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money and possessions and your value systems in relationship to matters related to how you give love of yourself, how you express yourself, matters related to children, or any kind of creative project that is fun and gives you enjoyment and bliss. And on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, which is Taurus, up until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes to your life the energy of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability in regards to the matters that give you bliss, like having holidays and having a good time, and also doing things such as sport, anything which is a creative expression of yourself. So there's a really good time for you to enjoy yourself and possibly go on holiday or create a beautiful creative project. On May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. And this very much relates to matters around your home and family, your physical abode, the house that you live in, the landscaping, any matters related to father, your roots, your ancestry, your genetics. And this is now the beginning, the kickstart with Mars in Aries of a time period that Jupiter is also in Aries since the 10th of May and all the way through to July the 27th, has forward momentum, then retrogrades through to the 28th of October, and from the 21st of December through to May the 16th allows for expansion regarding home and family matters for you, and also your inner psychology, any deep unconscious matters that you're dealing with that relate to ancestry and roots and genetics regarding family. This is a brilliant time for you to expand and gain much wisdom and insights into the philosophies of home and feeling safe and nurtured. The new moon on the 30th of May occurs at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini. And the new moon blesses you with a time to set intentions. The new moon always relates to new beginnings and also to the pause and the rest that you require to connect with your imagination, intuition, and your wisdom for the next lunation cycle. Now, you can use the new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle, recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which brings in new developments, new growth potential, and fresh energies regarding your day-to-day routines, how you are of service to others, how staff is of service to you, any matters related to diseases or matters related to any pets if you have. Now, Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries infuse a sense of bold ambition into this mix of the reflective inward bound powers through motivating you to sort out matters around your home and family and your unconscious and matters related to your genetics and your property. Saturn is in dignity in Aquarius, where it gives you structure, stability, discipline, and authoritativeness in regards to your self-esteem, your possessions, your finances, your money, and your sense of confidence. And on the 3rd of June, Saturn goes retrograde through to October the 22nd, allowing you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and reauthorize yourself in matters related to your finances, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your value systems. Also retrograde is Pluto, and it is slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and release and purging and detoxifying that you've experienced regarding matters that oppressed your physical health, your persona, your physical body. And this retrograde Pluto presents you with an opportunity to rest and reflect on what you've already let go of. And you can now review how empowered you feel, and you can create other to-do lists that you may recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April through to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes for you to become more in alignment with your persona and your health. It's on the 14th of July, on the 14th of June that we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 10 to 2 South African Standard Time, at 23 degrees of Gemini Sun and 23 degrees of the Sagittarius full moon. And this marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December 2021. This full moon indicates a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun, which wants to be of service to others and relates to your diseases and how you organize your day-to-day routine, also regards matters related to staff if you employ any, or pets if you have any. And the moon, which relates more to your internal reflective consciousness, which really seeks to hide away a little bit and recharge and be working from behind the scenes and be out of the limelight, self-renounce the material world, and kind of step back a little bit so that you can perceive the bigger picture, and so that you can seek and be very optimistic about connecting with your shadow side, or the invisible intuitions and imaginations that come through guidance, be it through spirit or angels. There's the sense that you are wanting to be of service to others and the detail around that, but equally so, you also want to be of service to the greater unconscious, your own subconscious, the spirit world out there, which is intangible. So the full moon is a high point, and it culminates at the peak of this cycle. And things come to a head now, and truths are revealed and illuminated and culminated. And you just know this instinctively. And it's a time for you to harvest the benefits of the new beginning, of the ripe fruits that you sowed from December the 4th, that will give you the clarity and the sense of maturity as an energy that will prevail through this full moon. You may feel a bit disappointed if the results are not quite what you had planned for. And if this is the case, forgive yourself. It's important to do this and prepare to collaborate and move forward. What is being illuminated here is the sense that you need time alone to isolate, to recharge, plug in and recharge your batteries, to connect to spirit, to connect to imaginations and visions, to your own secrets, to the subconscious, to matters related to foreign and that which isn't visible. And for you to keep peace around this and want to grow more of this, meditate around this. The full moon is not a time to bring up difficult or different situations that could culminate in arguments. The concept of this moon being the one that wants to hide and reflect and recharge, and the sun, which wants to be out there and be of service to people, are at odds with each other. And this unconscious habit of The moon, in this case, wanting to withdraw and reflect, and the sun, which wants to act out in the world and be of service to others, highlights relationships in your life, because it's impossible to make a decision when both seem so important. And here it's important for you to know that your words and your actions have an effect on others. So it's important to be very conscious in your relationships at this time of the full moon. Trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. And in looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of your consciousness and not get caught up in the emotional bond of your sheer desires. Keywords for this full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. Thank you, dear Capricorns, for joining me on this forecast. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, dear Aquarius. Thank you for joining me on this Gemini season forecast. From April the 29th through to the 21st of May, Mercury has been in the sign of Gemini. And this has brought a rational, witty, communicative, and intellectual energy to all matters related to how you enjoy bliss in your life, matters related to how you give love of yourself, how you are romantic, matters related to children and holidays and sport and anything that's fun in your life and that's like a creative project. Now, Mercury is retrograde at 1 degree of Gemini on the 21st of May as Gemini season starts. And this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life. The retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready, and you need to use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized regarding these matters. From the 14th of June to the 5th of July, Mercury is direct in Gemini, so that would be a fantastic time for you to start new things regarding your pleasures and your joy and matters related to creative projects, children, how you give love of yourself, how you express yourself romantically or in sports. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, Gemini Mercury, which is retrograde, is Cazimi and is also known to be in the heart of the sun. And it's on this day that this strengthens and influences the Mercury. As Mercury is retrograde, this day is specifically suited for gifting you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with a friend or a child or a lover from the past, or anybody that helped you express yourself and give love of yourself. This is a good time for you to reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve issues in these matters. If you have any new ideas to start something, Mercury retrograde is not the time to start. The universe instead has you complete any unfinished project first. And remember, it's from the 14th of June until the 5th of July that you can move forward when Mercury has gone direct. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m., Mercury retrogrades into the sign of Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems in regards to home and family matters, decorating your home, matters around land issues, genetics, roots, your origin, matters related to your father. And from the 2nd of June through to the 13th of June, Mercury is direct in Taurus, and this is a good time to start up new matters regarding these issues. On May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into the sign of rulership until the 22nd of June, namely Taurus. And here she attributes to your life the energies of sensuality, attractiveness, and pleasurability in all matters regarded to home and family life. Those things that make you feel secure. This could be gardening, this could be the roof over your head, this could be relationships related to your father, this could be art in your home, anything that is beautiful and pleasurable to you. And then on May the 25th at 1:17 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. And Mars in Aries gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion in regards to how you communicate, matters related to thinking, thought, and writing, paperwork, contracts, matters related to your neighborhood, your immediate environment, your neighbors, and also your siblings. Now, Jupiter also went into Aries on the 10th of May and continues direct until the 10th of July when it moves retrograde through to the 28th of October, and then direct again from 21 December through to May 16th of 2023. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of wisdom, of abundance, will be blessing you in these areas related to paperwork, communications, your neighbors, your siblings, all matters of thinking in terms of an expansive way. And it's this Mars going into Aries on May the 25th that kind of kickstarts off this period and just drives the dynamism and the power that you'll be getting from improved communications and improved relations with neighbors and siblings. The new moon on the 30th of May occurs at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini. And it's during the new moon that we're blessed with the time to set intentions. During this new moon, you can relate to any new beginnings, but also you can pause and rest to require the connection that you want towards your imagination and your intuition so that you can connect with your visions for the next lunation cycle. And the new moon phase is a time to reflect upon the last lunation cycle and recharge and connect with your visions of how you will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle. The new moon cycle always brings new developments, new growth potential, and fresh energies. And for you, these are very much related to how you express love of yourself, how you give love from yourself, how you find your own bliss and joy, matters related to children or any creative project, holidays, fun, or sport. Now, Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries infuse a sense of bold ambition through communication skills or contracts that allow you during this time of reflection and inward bound powers get inspiration and ideas as to how you will move forward. On the 3rd of June, Saturn in its sign of rulership, that being Aquarius, your sign, has been giving you a great sense of stability and structure and self-discipline and authoritarianness, or rather authoritativeness regarding your physical body, your health, your persona, and how you project yourself out into the world. And on the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, Saturn is going a retrograde in this area of your life. And it's asking you to restructure, restabilize, rediscipline, and re-authoritate yourself towards your own inner truth, towards a truth that allows for inner physical health and a sense of being in alignment with your truth of your own personality, as well as how you physically look. There's a sense that you want to restructure this from the 3rd of June through to October 22nd. Now, Pluto has also been going retrograde, and it is slowing down the cathartic, transformative endings and release and purging and detoxifying of matters that oppressed you and that no longer serve you in your life. There's a sense that there's a loss and there's an ending of a cycle that has occurred. And this retrograde Pluto presents you with the opportunity to rest and reflect on what you've already let go of. And you can now review how empowered you feel and create other to-do lists that you may recognize during the retrograde period, 28th of April through to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging and upgrades and progress processes. On the 14th of June, we will celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours 51 South African Standard Times at 23 degrees of Gemini for the Sun and 23 degrees of Sagittarius for the moon, and the full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December 2021. Now, the full moon always indicates a climax. Matters come to a head as the energies between the sun and the moon, which are 180 degrees opposed to each other in the sky. And the sun, which is your ego self, your personality, the center of your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, and the sense of your masculine, yang, fatherly energies, and the energies that create your radiance and your conscious light that you shine out into the world through how it is that you give love, through how it is that you enjoy bliss and matters related to creative projects or children or sports or holidays or fun or entertainment, anything that creates joy in your life. There is that energy outward into the world. And then there is the more reflective moon energy, which relates to your emotional needs and your inner yin life, the feminine, the mother, your styles of caring, your sense of irrational instinctual responses, and your ability to receive and respond to intimacy and comforts, and the sense of what does family mean to you in regards to your hopes and dreams and ideals, or regards to the networking of groups of friends that you have in your life, or specific clubs that you are connected to. There's a sense that you want to expand and be carefree and adventurous and have a sense of optimism and generosity around perceiving and growing the sense of hopes and dreams and ideals and groups of friends that you have, versus the sense of and also receiving love from others versus you giving love out. So the full moon is always a high point, culminating at the peak of the lunation cycle, and things are coming to a head and truths are being revealed and illuminated, and there's a sense of culmination. And you could be harvesting the ripe fruits of the seed that you sowed on the 4th of December. And there's a sense of maturity and heightened sense of clarity around the full moon. But you may also feel disappointed if you feel that the results of your intentions from the 4th of December 2021 are not quite as you planned. And it would be important for you then to forgive yourself and to prepare and collaborate and move forward. What is being illuminated here is your sense of family as friends and groups of people and networks, and wanting to expand and be adventurous and learn more in regards to groups of people and how you can receive love from others. Everything around this seems energized and increased, and you ask yourself, what do you want for yourself so that you can grow in these groups of people and the sense of networking, that you can grow in sense of ideals that you have and dreams that you have, and receiving love from others. Meditate on this quietly. It is not a time to approach any different or difficult situation on the full moon. Let that go to be discussed in a couple of days' time. So the concept is that the moon, which wants to be with the groups of people, and the sun, which wants to give love of itself, are a little bit at odds with each other. And your unconscious habits of wanting to give love to others and the consciousness of receiving love from friends brings you into this sort of bipolar situation, and it's difficult to make decisions around the full moon. What is important is to understand that relationships are always important around the full moon, and that how conscious you are in regards of your actions and the words that you speak around how this affects others is very important on the full moon. And trust to know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and bring you closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. And in looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of the consciousness of how it is that you give love of yourself. How do you express who you are? How do you have fun? Instead of getting caught up in the emotional bond of the sheer desire to want to be loved by others, specifically friends or groups of people. So keywords on this full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace and stillness. Thank you, dear Aquarians, for joining me. Take care. Bye for now. Dear Pisces, thank you for joining me on this Gemini season. During the dates April 29th through to May 21st, we've had Mercury in the sign of Gemini, sign of rulership, which allows for witty, rational, intellectual, and communicative communications. And this has been occurring for you, dear Pisces, in an area related to home matters and family, matters related to your ancestry and your genetics and your inner sense of feeling safe and the unconscious, matters related to father and the actual physical abode of the house that you live in, and possibly matters related to the land, the garden that you're on. Now, Mercury is retrograde at the first degree of Gemini as we enter the Gemini season, and this is a brilliant time to review and reflect upon this area of your life. The retrograde period is the universe saying that you are not yet ready, and use the opportunity to sort out unresolved matters from the past. It's an excellent time to get organized around home and family matters. On the 21st of May, from 4:44 p.m. until 1:44 a.m. on the 22nd of May, retrograde Gemini at 0 degrees of Mercury, of Gemini, is Cazimi, and this is also known as being in the heart of the sun. And this strengthens the influence of Mercury on the day. So on the 21st, 22nd day of May, when Mercury is retrograde, it's a specifically suited time to gift you with the energies to review, reflect upon, redo, rethink, renew, rework, renovate, revise, revamp, repair, research, or even reconnect with family members from the past. Reorganize, return, revisit, repeat, or resolve any issues around home and family and father and property and safety and security. So if you have any new ideas to start something, during Mercury retrograde is not the time to do this. The universe will instead have you first complete any unfinished projects first. However, on the 14th of June through to the 5th of July, Mercury will be in Gemini going direct. This would be an excellent time to start up new matters related to the events I had discussed. On May the 23rd at 3:15 a.m. South African Standard Time, Mercury retrogrades into Taurus until June the 2nd. And this is a great time to sort out practical matters, especially regarding your money, possessions, and value systems regarding your immediate environment, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your siblings, and all matters related to paperwork, talking, thinking, and writing. Also, on May the 28th at 16:46 a.m., Venus moves into her sign of rulership, namely in Taurus, up until the 22nd of June. And here she attributes to your life the energies of sensuality, attraction, and pleasurability regarding your neighbors, your immediate environment, your day-to-day commute, your siblings, all matters related to communications and thinking and writing and teaching. On May the 25th at 1 hour and 17 minutes a.m. South African Standard Time, Mars moves into his dignity, into his sign of dignity, namely Aries. Mars, when in Aries, gifts you with the energy of power, dynamism, ambition, and assertion. This is occurring for you, dear Pisces, in an area related to your finances, your possessions, your money, your savings. It relates to your self-esteem, to your self-worth, and also your confidence. Now, Jupiter also moved into the sign of Aries during the month of May, and up until July, Jupiter moves direct and then moves retrograde from July 27th through to the 28th of October, after which Jupiter returns into Pisces through to 21st of December, and then up until May the 16th, 2023, Jupiter is direct in the sign of Aries. And Jupiter is pennies from heaven. It is the greater benefic, and wherever Jupiter enters our chart, we have a sense of expansion. So this would show me for you, dear Pisces, that your finances are growing. There's a sense of growth around your self-esteem and your value system, and also your confidence. And it's the kickstart of May the 25th, when Mars goes into the sign of Aries, that you really feel the growth in this area of your life. Now, the new moon occurs on May the 30th at 1:29 p.m. South African Standard Time at 9 degrees of Gemini. And the new moon always blesses us with a time to set new intentions. The new moon always relates to new beginnings, and also the pause and the rest that we require to connect with our imagination, intuition, and visions for the new lunation cycle. We use the new moon phase to reflect upon the last lunation cycle, and we recharge and connect with our visions of how we will initiate the actions and decisions for the next new moon cycle, which bring new developments and new growth potential and fresh energy, specifically for you, Pisces, in the area of your home, your place of living, the land that you live on, matters related to family and feeling secure, matters related to your genetics, your origin, your home environment, and matters also related to your relationship around father or the father figure in the sense of ancestry and home life. Now, Mars at 4 degrees of Aries and Jupiter at 3 degrees of Aries bring in a bold ambition of the courageous Aries energies relating to your self-esteem and your possessions and your confidence that will help you to activate this reflective inward bound energy that you feel around the new moon in regards to the new plans that you have around family and home life. Saturn is currently in dignity in the sign of Aquarius. And where Saturn travels when in dignity, it brings structure, stability, discipline, and authoritativeness to it. For you, dear Pisces, you've been feeling this in an area of your life that relates to working from behind the scenes and withdrawing yourself from the limelight and the busyness of the world, where you can recharge your batteries, where you feel a little bit isolated and alone, where you self-renounce the material world so that you can connect to spirit and the divine and your imagination and your intuition. And during this time of the 3rd of June through to October the 22nd, you will have a time and an opportunity to restructure and re-stabilize and rediscipline and reauthoritate yourself regarding cycles that have ended, and the sense of loss as something is completed, the sense of wanting to work from behind the scenes and feel a little bit isolated while you're recharging your battery. Now, at the beginning of Gemini season, Pluto is still retrograde at 28 degrees of Capricorn. And this slows down the cathartic, transformative endings and releases and purging and detoxification around oppressive situations that no longer serve your highest truth. Friendships or groups of people or hopes and dreams and ideals and love received from others has been oppressive for you. And you can now review how empowered you feel and how you want to create other to-do lists that will recognize during this retrograde period of 28th of April through to October the 7th, 2022, which may require further regenerative purging, upgrades, and progress processes regarding letting go of friendships or groups of people or a sense of a connection to society or networking that has been oppressive for you over the last year or two that you've been releasing. On the 14th of June, we celebrate the Sagittarius full moon at 1300 hours and 51 South African Standard Time at 23 degrees of Gemini. The sun and at 23 degrees of Sagittarius is the moon. And the full moon marks the completion of a 6-month cycle, which started on the last Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December. Now, full moon always indicates a climax. Matters come to a head and the energies between the sun and the moon at 180 degrees opposing each other in the sky. The sun, which is your ego self and your personality, the center of your individuality, your sense of vitality and purpose, your masculine yang, father nature, and those parts of you that are radiant and conscious light beings that are shining your light out into the world through the sense of family and property and land and home and ancestry and genetics, and the sense of inner security and the unconscious. This is shining out as the yang part of you during the full moon. And the moon, which relates to your emotional needs and your inner yin life, the feminine, the mother version of yourself, your styles of caring for yourself, your irrational, instinctual, responsive abilities to receive and to respond towards intimacy and comforts, the sense of family life and finding balance within yourself. This is the energy that is wanting you to be propelled out into the limelight and focus on your career and your vocation and your actions out into the world, and that which makes you feel like you're the most personal, the highest version of your own success. And here, with the moon being in the sign of Sagittarius, there's a sense that you want to seek or perceive, that you want to have adventure and explore and be optimistic and very generous and expansive and fun-loving in your nature. You want to fuel this into your actions out into the world. And then the detailed version of being expressive and communicating details around home and family life is on the opposite end. So what we have is that at the full moon, there is a high point. There's a sense of culmination at the peak of this lunation cycle, and things come to a head now, and truths are revealed regarding home and family life and you out in the world as a career person with your actions out into the world. And there's a sense of this illumination and culmination occurring. Now, the harvest and the benefits that this new beginning that you started on the 4th of December in 2021 have now come to fruition, and it's like a ripe fruit for you to pick that which you sowed 6 months ago on the 4th of December. And during this bigger picture of the full moon, there's a sense of maturity that prevails at this cycle's peak. There's also the sense that there's a result that gives you a heightened sense of clarity around these matters. If you feel disappointment around how things have turned out, and they may be different to what you've planned, remember to forgive yourself, which is always important, and then prepare and collaborate and move forward. And the question here is, what is being illuminated? And everything that seems energized and increased is in relation to your career, your profession, your vocation, your actions out in the world, your sense of success, your reputation, your status out in the world. And you'll be asking yourself, what do you want to have grow here? And a natural, healthy response would be to say peace and harmony is what I like for myself. And in that instant, it's important that you meditate around the peace and harmony in these matters. It's not a good time to confront any different or difficult situation around the home and family life at this point. You'd want to wait a couple of days until the full moon is passed to address these. The concept that the moon, which is relating to your career, and the sun, which is relating to your home and family life, are opposing each other in terms of the desires at full moon and are at odds with each other, creates a conscious awareness that the unconscious habits of the moon, which in your case is now relating to your career, and the consciousness, your sun, which is relating to what is important in my home and family life, they tend to bring relationships into your life so that it can mirror the things that you either desire or need. And it's almost impossible to make a decision on the full moon because it's a sense of like a bipolar kind of moon, where you're feeling both parts, the moon and the sun's tugging away at you, the gravity, the gravitational force of them, because the earth is in between the sun and the moon. And it's very important at this time to understand that relationships are essential to you, and that your conscious behavior in terms of the effect this has on other people in regards to the words that you use and the actions that you create around the full moon are to be looked at very mindfully, because they do affect the people that you are in relationships with. It's important to trust and know that the events around the full moon are in harmony and closer to your inner truth and personal growth and evolution. In looking for the right relationship, you need to proceed through the clarity of the light of your consciousness, which relates very much to home and family life, to fathering, to nurturing, to feeling secure. And not get caught up in the emotional bond of your sheer desire, which may relate to your status out in the world and your reputation out in the world and matters related to your career. So the key words for this full moon are results, forgiveness, gratitude, illumination, mirroring, relationships, culmination, projection, completion, confidence, peace, and stillness. Thank you, dear Pisces, for joining me. I wish you a beautiful month ahead. Take care. Bye for now.